The engine of a car is basically its heart, so once it fails, it's either you get it replaced or repaired, or you just leave your car to rust. Now, don't really assume that all cars are equipped with rugged and dependable engines. In fact, I did my due diligence and found that even reputable car brands had instances where they bolted bad engines in their production vehicles. Hello everyone, this is Ted from CarlandTV. Take the back seat, as in this episode, I am going to reveal some of the cars that you should consider avoiding because of their junk and unreliable engines. Beware, because a lot of these cars are something you are already familiar with. So before you get dumbfounded, keep in mind that everything that I will mention going forward is backed by market research. Before I start, I would like to ask you the favor of hitting the subscribe and notification bells. They help the channel a lot. Now buckle up and let's get back to the video. Volkswagen Golf, Volkswagen Jetta, Volkswagen Passat, Audi A3, and Audi A4 with 1.2 TSI engines. Just as I said a while ago, many of the cars that I've listed here are already familiar to you. In fact, you might have driven them at some point in time. Or maybe you are driving them now. Many of the production vehicles in the Volkswagen group, such as those I mentioned, are fitted with 1.2 TSI petrol engines. I strongly advise that you stay away from these cars, especially if they are using the TSI engine. Since this particular engine has the official designation of EA211, it is something that you spot on right away. The reason you need to dodge the 1.2 TSI engine is because of its timing chain issues. To be fair, the engine has a degree of reliability to some extent, and that extent is about 150,000 miles. However, even before reaching this mileage, its timing chain tensioner is susceptible to failing once the vehicle reaches 30,000 miles on average. As time passes by, the timing chains of these 1.2 TSI engines stretch anomalously. I know that timing chains tend to wear out over time, but that should be a gradual process, not in a short period. Once these chains are fully stretched, servicing your engine is a must, and of course that will require you to spend big. It's just a good thing that Volkswagen offers other engines for its vehicles, so there's no need for you to accept a losing trade. Subaru Outback, Subaru Forester, Subaru Legacy, and Subaru Impreza with Subaru 2.0D engines. Now, it's worth noting that Subaru didn't develop diesel engines early in its production years. The company had a different thrust, I suppose, because it's quite obvious that they want to keep a conventional boxer engine layout for their vehicles. Of course, as someone who has driven multiple Subaru cars, I can say that these boxer diesel engines are great. It's not as awful as some people described it, but yeah, at the end of the day, there are some criticisms here and there. The first generation of the Subaru 2.0D powertrains in particular are just unbearable. You can see these engines equipped on the 2008 to 2020 models of Outback, Forester, Legacy, and Impreza. If you aren't sure, their engine code is EE20, so just use that as a reference. So why is this particular engine troublesome in the first place? Well, it's already an established fact that its injectors aren't durable. They get damaged or worn quickly, so you need to replace them frequently. Other engines don't have this problem. At the same time, many Subaru owners mention that this engine is prone to generate a ridiculous amount of oil soot. The filter of the engine also requires regular troubleshooting too. Subaru was able to fix these issues under warranty, but once the warranties expired, it was already clear that maintaining the engine was too costly. From a cost perspective, it's better to ditch this engine altogether and look for a new one instead. Better yet, just don't buy any Subaru that is equipped with the 2.0D engine. Toyota Avensis, Toyota Corolla Verso, Toyota RAV4, and Lexus IS220 with 2.2 dcat engines. I have been praising Toyota for being a reliable brand of production sedans and SUVs. However, over the years, there have been certain cases where the reliability of Toyota cars was in question. Among those few instances involved a particular engine model, which is the 2.2 dcat, and this one has an engine code of 2ADFHV. So if you are buying a used Toyota, make sure that you avoid any unit that is using this particular powertrain. Well, Toyota had no intentions of making mid-size diesel cars, but this changed when the 2.2 dcat engine was introduced in the market. I don't know if my numbers are accurate, but this engine is rated to produce 177 horsepower, and close to 300 pound-feet of torque. During its time, it was the most powerful engine option for an average Toyota car. However, its innate power is actually a double-edged sword. You see, the dcat is quite notorious for its excessive fumigation, or in simpler terms, the engine causes the car to work like an unregulated chimney. Believe me when I say that it will never be you who will notice this problem first. Instead, it would be the driver who would be tailing your rear, and once that happens, you will be soaking from embarrassment. But before Toyota decided to scrap off the engine in its future production vehicles, the company went on and equipped the dcat engine with the Lexus IS220. I think that was a bad move on the part of Toyota since it tarnished the reputation of a supposedly great Lexus car. BMW 5, BMW 6, BMW 7, BMW X5, BMW X6 with BMW N63 4.4 Biturbo engines. A couple of years ago, I kept hearing people insisting that the BMW V8 engines are great and that these are the only engine options I should get if I ever decided to get a BMW. I didn't know back then, but in hindsight, I was really glad that I didn't join the bandwagon. After all, the V8 engines of BMW have been already proven as seriously troublesome, especially if we are talking about the BMW N63 4.4 Biturbo engines. With an engine code of N63B44, the Biturbo is known for its reliability problems. For example, its cooling system is just useless. Apparently, this issue stems from the very two turbochargers that are placed in the middle of the cylinder rows of the engine. Of course, this configuration has benefited the packaging of the engine, but in the grand scheme, it caused a lot more problems than advantages. These turbochargers generate high levels of heat, and coupled with the fact that this particular engine has a faulty water cooling system, it's already clear that the cylinder heads tend to scorch up fast. Of course, this problem trickles into an awful chain reaction. It damages the camshafts and limits the lifespan of the variable valve control. But this is not the only issue you have to deal with this specific V8 engine. Similar to the TSI engines of select Volkswagen cars, the Biturbo engine used by certain BMWs has faulty injectors and timing chains. The injectors are prone to leakages, which in turn damage the cylinder. Keep in mind that fuel can wash off the oil from the wall of the cylinder, and this oil is very crucial in the overall reliability of the engine itself. It's just a good thing that BMW acknowledged these issues present in the Biturbo engine. They had it fixed, so you can expect that starting in 2013 and going forward, these powertrain problems are most likely resolved. However, you still need to keep an eye on things, especially if you want to buy a used BMW. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more gun videos like this, just click the subscribe button and notification bell. Take care and stay safe. Take care and